Okay, so it's moved again. It's gonna be awkward. That if I haven't said things are weird lately, let's just talk about that. I can't even like I don't even understand. Like last night was so fucking weird. I mean, it just is. What's the point anymore of trying to decide? Like it's just so fucking weird, and it's just nonstop being woke up and feeling so out of it. It's weird, and then when I got up this morning, and Stella has been having the roughest nights, and so then when I got up this morning, my whole fucking thing was broken. There was no usable parts on the whole thing. My whole little stand and light and stuff was broken in some weird way that just nothing would work. Everything, I don't even know. It was weird. And so I was like, oh, fuck. But I thought, okay, well, I probably have some more in my parts thing because they all come with all these parts. And so I start going through all of my parts. The only stand I could even find is this little tiny plastic desktop one. Then to find, that took a whole ordeal. Everything just kept being weird, going wrong. You try something, nothing was fitting together. And I found this one, put it all together, had it all set up. You go to turn it on and the light won't work. I was like, what the fuck? So then I go and change it and go back through all the parts again, start putting back together another one, and seeing how useless most of the parts are. I was going to throw everything away, have to order another one. It's like you have to order these every couple of weeks or something. They just fall apart. They're such rotten pieces of shit. And then, get it set up, and then had to change the whole thing again because nothing just goes to the same place. Even when you turn them, the thing that holds the camera will turn, like the light will turn a certain distance, so it'd be like this way. Then you have the thing that you have to turn the camera on, and then it will be turned the other way. It's like, oh my God. So everything I have been doing all morning has been whatever going wrong. But one good positive thing about this is so you see the hall. And so even when I was getting ready and everything kept going wrong and nothing would work and it was taking so long, like, I don't know what, the clock is right behind my head. There's the clock. And so I don't know what time it is, but I was like, oh, see in the hallway. When I put this up, I was like, I wonder what part we'll see. And then, see in the hallway, I was like, oh, maybe if you watch over at the hallway, you'll see something moving around. You never know. You could see some fucking face peeking out watching us. But when I was trying to get the stuff ready, I was like, oh, you guys don't want them to see the hall or something? You're trying to make it so I have to turn it in another way? So anyways, it finally got put together. But it was like yesterday morning, I got up feeling so optimistic, so excited, so much like, okay, the universe has brought this into my information. It's brought me to this desire, and it's changed my outlook because now I feel like, oh, I can get these implants out. And because for so long, I've wanted them out for so fucking long, so long. I can't even believe it. It's been 20 years I've had them. And I wanted them out for so long. And but it's a huge ordeal. It's like it costs more to get them out. And then I had my whole little insurance scam I was coming up with. I figured out I was going to just pop a hole in one and then tell them I don't want them replaced. I want them removed. And so I could get insurance to do it because insurance won't do it. Oh, they don't really care about your health. And even when you go, like I went, one of my last appointments with the doctors when I had to do some physical and stuff, and I was trying, and I wasn't going to go down to, it was already after quarantine had started, I think, and I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to go down there now because I had my whole plan. I was going to go in, and my cousin who had hers taken out, she does ultrasounds, and so she was going to do an ultrasound. We were going to find it. We were going to stick a sterile needle through my skin, pop a hole in it. I was going to go there, and so I could get them out. And it's supposed to be just saline. It's like we have saline in our bodies. It's the plastic that's the problem, I think. My nose is going to start running. It's like, what the hell do I have on? I'm telling you, it's so weird. Because I was like, I'm sure I put a paper towel in my pocket. Um, so, the so I had my whole little scheme I was gonna do, and pop a hole so I could get them taken out, and then so then a quarantine happened and everything, and so then I didn't get to go do that, and then so this one that keeps shifting, it's like going under into my armpit or something, and so I said something about that when I went to do the physical, to, about the mammogram, because they're always like, well, you need to do a mammogram. I said, well, I started asking, about this one moving or something. And so don't ask questions, because I didn't know. You don't want to do that, because then they change your code. So however they diagnose your code thing, so that they send it to insurance, they change that code. So that then if you ask questions, then they're doing it for a different reason. So then they're doing it for something else, because I went into a huge fight over $85 with this imaging company, because it was out of ethics to me. You don't just change it because I ask a question, change the code. It's a free mammogram unless you ask a question. It's like bullshit. I was outraged, and I argued and argued, and I went to collections over it. I was like, that's bullshit. It's bullshit. That's fucking coding and all their bullshit. So that irritated the fuck out of me. And then they said, oh no, they're great, they're fine. I was like, okay, yay. So I just kept feeling like, fuck. So then when I heard about the med beds, then I was all jacked up on the med beds. I was like, hell yeah, get them out. And I don't even have to go through all that surgery and do any digging around or whatever. I was like, oh God, excellent. So I have been stuck on the med beds. Once I get to the med beds, it's got to be coming closer. It's got to be coming closer. And then years go on. And now we're going into 2024. It's like, oh my God, come on. Especially then when you go and you do any research and you look into it, it's like, oh my God, I've got every motherfucking symptom of this shit. And I feel like shit. And I'm in pain all the motherfucking time. And it's like, God damn. And doctors don't give a flying fuck about your health. They do not care about your health. They do not care about cutting things out of you that need to be out of you. They don't care. It's like, well, we have a surgical suite. We would love you to come and pay your $10,000. And especially these ones where insurance doesn't even cover it. You just, you have to be rich in order to get anything done. It's like, God damn, it's irritating. So then, when they come up with the drive-through removal service, it's like, hell yeah, I'm all in. I can fucking do that. And then, because I trust my body to heal. And and then the argument you have to have with Western medicine people, they act like you're a complete lunatic because you want to let your body heal. And so, I'm going off on this whole thing, but let me go back to, so, I was all excited, and I was feeling super optimistic, and I thought, okay, I'll make this happen. This has got to be where the universe is taking me. But it was having the challenges were coming into my mind because the money thing, the weather thing, because it's clear across the state. I've got to cross the pass and stuff, and the crashing with the medical, crashing of everything. Like, we're right on the edge of this crashing. And then on top of that, what was the other thing? As I thought of another thing. But anyways, it kept being all these obstacles were coming into my mind. And I was like, okay, well, we'll just, I'm not going to give those all my energy and sit and think about them. Just got to deal with whatever comes. The universe opens doors or shuts doors. It shows you which way to go when you're paying attention. And so it directs you in the game. It's like, but you got to pay attention. There's just so many people that just go around pounding on doors and forcing doors open and stuff. But that's for you, your soul, to get the opportunity to look at. So it's for each person to witness in themselves. It's not something for any of us to dictate or police about one another. It's you only know your truth. So it's for your lessons. It's for you to learn about you. So anyways, I went, I was so excited to get this call from this girl, and I felt so optimistic because of the girl I had talked to the day before. And she was just seemed so much like, oh yeah, she does those in the office. And, it's no big deal. And, oh yeah, I'm sure she can fit you in, do a consultation in the morning and then do the surgery in the afternoon, or, just go into the surgical after that. And, but she didn't know anything about the money, she said. And otherwise, if she would have known the money, I would have set an appointment right then. But then it would have got canceled because. So then I was sitting there all excited in the morning, and I was thinking, I'll just calm down, relax, let the universe do its stuff. And then I thought, okay, if she didn't call by 10, I'll call. And so she didn't call by 10, so I called. And she wasn't going to call. She didn't have any idea, anything. And so she's like, okay, well, just explain to me what's going on. It was a complete different attitude, complete different persona, than the girl who was way more down to earth and way more, regular person. Now I was talking to a plastic surgeon's, I think, office manager robot. And, I don't care about that. I don't care about you. I don't care about people. I care about money and reputation. And so so then she started telling me that, oh, they have a lot of people that come from out of town. Lots of people. That's up to you to get there. And you need to get there to come for your consultation. And then when you go in for your consultation, she will write up a personal thing about how much it's going to cost. So it's not just like where they go, oh, well, it's going to be $5,000. No, she's going to go in and do a whole examination and decide like what she thinks needs to be done. And then they'll give you your quote. And then it's a month to 2 months for the appointment. And so then she said, I said Dr. Oliva had done them. And she said, well, you could call over there and get your surgical report sent over here. And then the doctor can look at it and see, and she probably can tell if you need to, what her recommendations would be. Because there's this whole thing about now, what they're saying, you have to have the implant above the muscle. Like the implant has to be on top. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, like when they're talking about in the muscle, because you have tissue. And so then I was like, well, wouldn't that be like in your mammogram records? Like there's tons of those. Wouldn't that be in there if it was where they were having to do the thing? She goes, well, did you ever have an ultrasound? And I said, yeah. And so that's an ordeal. Can't get the doctors should have a thing where you sign for it, and then the doctor just tells the imaging company to send it over and send your signature. You to try and get it is a fucking ordeal. And then so I wasn't able to get any imaging and send that over there. A doctor called the plastic surgeon office who did it. Since it was 20 years ago, they only have to save it for 7 years, so they don't have any records on me. It's like we don't have any of that. And so then the lady was just like, she didn't, well, I'm going to talk to the doctor and talk to Mallory and find out what's going on. It's like the doctor's not going to know shit. And if it's already, people have to drive over or fly over, or whatever, for their consultation to get their price so that then they can set their appointment, then, if that's already the rules, what are you going to talk to her about? And I, even when I said, I just want to get these out. I don't care about, and they keep talking about this capsule thing, like this scar tissue or something. I'm going to look up more about it today, about this capsule thing. And so this office manager, she kept saying 98% of the women have the capsule out. It's like, yeah, but I just want my body to heal. I just want my body to do it. I don't want to have them dig stuff out more. And she would just not even hear it. Same with the one in Seattle. It was the same thing. They're just real talked down to you, like they're talking off the end of their plastic nose. And so anyways, that was like, and there's such an attitude of the phoniness that, we should all just be phony. It was one thing that is really weird right now too. And I know everything is coming to the surface. Everything is just like coming out. And there's so there's some sort of challenge or something, some sort of battle that's going on, makeup battle or something. And I think the women are doing it as like the most craziest transformations. Like they're taking their own faces. And, you know, I don't know. I would say, I don't know. I have an opinion about it, of course. But so they're taking their faces, and I think they're putting filters on their face to make them look more horrible. And then they're going on and putting this makeup and then just doing this big, like, bam. And, but what it's showing is, to me, I kept being like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like, how in the hell these guys go out and pick these girls up at night in bars and think like this is what she looks like. And then you know, that makeup or that wig, or, I mean, they're completely changing their faces. Like when I say they're doing this stage makeup, like it is like special effects makeup. Like it's crazy. I can't believe the amount, like, there's just so many girls who do videos just, let's put on my makeup together while I tell you a story. And some of those, like, I'll want to hear the story. So I'll sit there and it's like, I can't even believe it. The amount of makeup that they put on. Highlight, darken, put this over that, put more highlight here, more darken here. I mean, they're just completely changing their faces. And it's really weird. And so, and it's so extreme. And then I saw a guy yesterday having a reaction to it. And I was thinking, man, I can't imagine. I bet you there's lots that are going to be having reaction videos to it, because it's so catfishy. And the thing that gets me is I can't imagine being one of these girls, like putting on this other face that you can't ever, like when I was sitting there looking at it, I was like, God, what a prison. Because how can you go to the lake with your friends? How can you go anywhere that you have to have your makeup on all the goddamn time? It's like you can't go anywhere or do anything without your fucking makeup on. And I just thought, man, that is such a prison. And then when you think about the person, the soul is like, it's like they keep chasing this artificial face, this manufactured face, and then they keep thinking it's better than their own face, and then they let their own face just go, you know, like they just don't care about it as much. Like there's things that they could do that are more natural, that they could look attractive without going with this extreme makeup and changing and this whole anime look or something. It's obviously easy to create, you know, when you put all these like lines on your face and these giant lashes, and I don't know, because I can't believe the faces that turn into these faces. And then they just put on wigs and stuff. So it's like, I don't know, think about it too, is like that, like aristocratic kind of during like the Victorian age, how those women, they would put on all that powder, tons and tons of this white powder, and then this little red bow lips that they would do. I think they would do like a mole. I don't think that they did a lot of, they were creepy looking. They looked like, I think that this is like where China doll face came from. So it's just this white face. And maybe they were even kind of trying to copy like geisha girls or something. But then they do these little tiny red lips. And then they do this mole. But anyways, it would make this fake face. And then they put on all these wigs. And then they would be all like, I don't know, this hoity-toity kind of like, always looking their nose down their nose at other people. And I don't know, it just seems like it's kind of like that same kind of energy that is there again. And it's the same kind of like hiding their face. And then I think that they think it's being funny or something, that they make these huge transformations. But to me, I completely see the guy's point of view. Like guys are more of a, visual like that. Like if they look at you and what they see and they like it, then they, you know, I mean, for it to all of a sudden change into something completely different, that would just really throw them. So I completely see how it's catfishing, but I see how the women have lost their their confidence. Like they don't believe in themselves. They are all like relying on these filters and this heavy makeup. But then you're imprisoning yourself and creating this persona that how do you go out in public? How do you go in the lake? How do you like all these different things? It's like you become smaller. You become something that is an image. How do you break free from this image and start being comfortable in your own skin and go out and represent yourself? And it's like, man, you just see how these people all imprison themselves. So many people imprison themselves for different things. And just is crazy how the makeup thing and how much it's going right now, like with this contest. Oh my God, I have seen video after video after video. You have to just keep going by them because if you watch them for very long, but man, some of them it's like these faces come up and then you're like, no fucking way this is going to turn pretty. No fucking way. And then they will do it. It's like, what? And then I was like, okay, there's got to be something going on. And that's where I saw where some of them were using filters to make themselves look more worse. But still, and some of them are sad. Like there's one girl who does a whole bunch of these videos. And hers, she was in a car wreck or something. It knocked all her teeth out. And so she looks like she's pretty, but then she had no teeth. And so that changed. And then she had a problem finding teeth. But so now she's got some sort of snap-in veneer or something. So she can have her teeth out and then not have her eyebrows on and have her, I don't know, a lot of these people, they color their hair and color their hair, so it just becomes damaged. Like even the people who braid their hair and then their hair keeps falling out. It's like, because you're not supposed to be pulling at that diet. Like those tight-ass braids like that. And then you go see these ladies go in to get their weaves or whatever. And it's like they've got so much balding. It's like, because you're not supposed to do that to your head. You're not supposed to pull it so tight like that. It pulls the hairs out. It pulls the follicles out. And so a lot of these people and a lot of the women also who do so much with the chemical treatments on their hair, they do so much damage to the follicle in their hair. They burn their hair off. Then the follicle quits growing hair. And so they start getting like really thinned out hair where it starts looking like little old lady hair. And, you know, and they're in their 30s. And so they just damage the fuck out of their hair with all these colors and shit. And so then what comes in? Wigs. So everybody's got wigs. And then plus more and more with the gluing the fake hair onto people. And so there's way more treatments, you know, than I'm sure. I don't know. I mean, you think about your hair as an extension of your central nervous system, and then you're cutting it or breaking it and causing it so much distress and stuff. And then you're putting a bunch of chemicals and glue and then hanging more hair off of it. I saw this girl and she was, she had all these beads. So she had seen this picture. She thought it was really cute. She wanted to do her hair like it. She paid this huge amount of money to go have her hair done like it. And they were huge beads, like huge. Like every time you'd walk, you'd sound like blah, 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 blah. Like it would be so noisy, which that would drive me crazy. Listening to myself walking around and doing stuff and hearing it all the time. I think it would drive me crazy. And then trying to sleep on top of that. Oh my God. And then the weight of it, the weight of all those beads. And so that's where she said that she finally had to take it out. She couldn't take the weight anymore. And so she took them out, and then she had these little braids, which they looked cute. And she didn't like that. She didn't think that that looked good enough. And so then, you know, so then take that out and then do that. And then all these different things to keep trying these different things. But there's so much dissatisfaction. And all along the way, you're thinking, oh, that's cute. That's cute. Like I would, like for fashion, you're going to walk around with 10 pounds in your hair and the heaviness, that would give you such headaches. And then trying to sleep on that. How do you get even rest when you're sleeping on this big thing? Like, I don't know. And she had him in for, I don't know if it was a couple months or what. It was a while. was like, Jesus Christ, that's crazy. But I don't know. People get more caught up in their image and more caught up in what they look like. And one thing too is I've been drinking a lot out of the copper. It's right there, the copper cup. And then you fill it up and then you let it sit overnight and it becomes like infused with minerals and stuff. And it is supposed to make your hair, like I keep seeing this stuff where it says that if you drink more copper, your hair won't be silver, which I wasn't doing it for that reason. But I started thinking, I wonder if my hair, I started thinking, I don't know. But the reason I'm saying it is like for something for you guys to watch and notice if it really does. Because I feel like it's less silver already. And I wasn't even doing it for that. But I feel like that this was all white and now it's looking like there's color. So I don't know. I'll just see if it really, because I like the white. I wasn't trying to do it to get rid of it. I like the white part. I like it if my whole hair turned white. I think it would look cool. So I wasn't like, oh, I want to drink the coffee. No, but there was other reasons. And I don't know. I just hear a lot of different videos and stuff. There's another video of that fucking head up in the sky. And I don't know if it's over Michigan or something, but this was like the guy and his daughter, because it was the same voices, and they had all their neighbors out. So all the neighbors in this neighborhood are all out looking up at the sky, and they're saying, it's there again, it's there again. And everybody's looking, and he's telling people, get your phones out. There needs to be more evidence than just mine. And he's showing all the people who were out there looking and saying, do you see it? And going up and showing the face. Only this time, I swear to God, it looks like it fucking is moving its eyes. Like, it's so creepy. It is so creepy. I cannot believe, because it's probably some hologram or something that they're probably doing. And because I don't think it would come through like that. Like, there's got to be something going on, but I don't understand why. It just is giving me such the creeps. So fucking creepy. And yesterday when we went out for a walk, which I feel so certain is why Stella is definitely not feeling good, and I think the same with me. I had such a rough night. Oh my God. It's like electrical. That's just so uncomfortable. And then the mist, how they come in with this mist and this fog, but our whole sky was gray and all overcast and stuff. Far, far out, you see a light trying to break through it. And so you couldn't really see any faces or anything, but I kept looking and looking and kept thinking, oh my God, if all of a sudden I make it out and my eyes can see it. Because that's what's so trippy, is like you're looking and looking, you don't see it, and then all of a sudden it's like you see it, and it's like, oh my God, how did I not see this? So now I keep like scanning the sky, looking and looking, like, and then I keep wondering, like, maybe it is like a hologram they're doing, just like run right over one area. Yesterday I saw live, there's like so many things going on in places. I don't know, some kind of live big police chase thing that went down in Houston. And there's more of these kinds of things. And I don't even think that they're all making the news. I think that they're just like localized different chaos and stuff, which is going to keep going. It's going to keep going and going. It's just going to build and build. I just saw this video, and this girl, as she was sharing, she's always doing stuff that's like, she has good videos because she's always showing things like conspiracy things or something that is more supernatural or something. And so she was sharing this video that she had seen, and it was freaking her out. I think it was from CIA or something. And they were talking about that everything is cycles, and that every 12 to 13,000 years that the earth resets. It changes the landscape. And in the process of the reset of this switching the North Pole and the South Pole, this pole shift, this time that we're at right now. And so at the time of this pole shift, that you have all of these big storms and everything is unsettled because everything is shifting to go the other direction. And that it's a total reset. And there was things, because I don't know, some of the stuff that where people start saying they'll go in a different direction, like about humans and stuff. And I can't even remember what this one was saying, but it was definitely scary, and scary to people. I mean, it was scaring her and stuff. And that's the thing, is like we're at this time of this reset, but the reset's going to be good. But yeah, usually it's like that the stage is cleared, and then there's a start over. It's just a new reality starts, a new age, a new time period, a new experience will start. And so, but this time is supposed to be that if you become, like some of these words, it's like, so if you become enlightened or something, but it's not really like enlightened. It's, to me, it seems more like if you become more aware of who and what you are, like that they can't kill you. Like, you know, things live, you know, things start back over. And, I mean, I think at some of the times there's even been where things have gone underground and stuff. Like not everything just ends. Like not every species ends. There's endings and beginnings. But humans are going to go forward. So humans are going to continue as a species. And so it is like the humans become more transcendent, more aware of their spiritual side, more aware of this side that isn't so controlled. So it's more of a, it's more initiated by the human, of its understanding. So it's not like, because to me it's like all these people just don't have any understanding, and they're all like the devil and like, fuck, it's weird to listen to how people talk. And the way that with the religion, the way that the world's ending and all that stuff, it's like, this is a different kind of time. And so like on one hand, everybody, like, even though people are so scared and they think like, oh my God, I'm gonna die, blah blah blah, that you don't really die. So you're just in a game and you forgot you're in a game. You're in a play and you forgot. And so, you know, there's nothing that anybody can do until you remember. So even if you go out of the game, then you remember. So you go out of the game, and then it's real sudden. I mean, it's real instantaneously, you know, but it causes a lot of confusion with a lot of people. But I think that that is part of, like, also with the spiritual awakening. I think that it is a lot, I think there's less confusion when people are more spiritually awake, and then all of a sudden they find themselves outside of their body. I don't think that they're as confused as the people who were sure that they ceased to exist. So I think people have that part of themselves waking up, especially if they're passing over to the other side. I just think that there's not as much confusion as there's been in times of the periods in the past. Like if we were to read a bunch of near-death experience books that were happening right now, I think that we would see like a different energy of what was happening at one period of time than what is happening right now, because we're in this time of change and things are always changing. And so you have all of the people who are like confused or scared or whatever, then you can't do anything about that. They just have to, you know, die out of the game so that they can remember. But there's nothing that really happens to them. So it's not like that they can really go in and save everybody. I think that there's like two different powers that be, but I think that they both have the same understanding that this is a spiritual, man, this is kind of uncomfortable to try and sit because I feel like I got to get up closer and it's farther away. That it is so it is spiritual. It's okay, I gotta think back where I was. Hold on. Okay, so the people, so when the people, so the people who, like the powers that be, the ones that are in charge, that I think that they understand like the spiritual side. I think that that is what the Z people that are also, the blues, but they're really the Z's. And that's weird too. It's kind of like disease. So, because it is like a disease. That's why I said, even why I think that there was so much light that came here was because that's how your body works. All the white blood cells go in to fight the infection, to fight the disease. And so I think all this light comes in to fight the disease. And that's weird because the Z's and disease, because I think they are the disease. But I think that they have awareness of so much of this stuff, like that I talk about, but that they keep it hidden. It's like their hidden truth, because that gives them power. Because if you are in fear that you're going to die and you don't know what's going to happen to you, and they play up those fears, then they have control over you. And so that is what they are trying to do all the time. God, I swear everything is weird. There's more weird stuff too. Like that girl, everything seemed like it was going really good, and then everything started going the opposite. That's where it just is like, even on my my YouTube thing. So it will start, it'll start getting a bunch of views on a video. And then, it'll start doing something natural, start going to other videos. And then all of a sudden it just shuts down. And it will start going backwards on my numbers. I'll see them do it. They'll bounce my numbers backwards. And so I know that they're trying to keep my account from getting very much leverage or coverage or something, that they repress it, which, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different things. Like, I don't know. Like, we'll just see how it all plays out. And so they, but for some reason, they don't want people to hear me. And so they will mess with the numbers. And so every time, I'll start getting more views, it'll feel like, oh, this is exciting, It's, I feel like there's some sort of release. There's some sort of, a hand has been taken off of the control over my lever. And then it will, hit into another wall. And it's like, oh my God, when is the momentum just going to keep going? And then, so so yesterday, after I was so disappointed with talking to the plastic surgeon's office, and then I always go straight in to talk to my guides. Always, that's what I do. And what am I supposed to be doing? What's going on? And I was getting a lot of information about, well, there's these things are coming, they're making a comeback. There's going to be, there would be a lot more stuff that's going to be blocking my way than what I think. And so I know things will just come to you. Like one of the reasons I'm even talking about it is, like, I don't know, a doctor who has ethics could see this and say, they want to do surgeries to help people with their health, and that they will be reasonable, not try and charge you more than what you had to put in, charge you more money than to get them taken out. And so anyways, you just don't know. The universe has its magic, and it always likes to show you its magic. So I'm gonna, put myself out there. And but so yesterday, after I'm feeling so disappointed about that, and then there was, I don't even remember all of the different layers of the different things that were going on. It just kept being like, oh my God, oh my God. But then I get an email from YouTube, and they tell me that they've taken down one of my videos because I'm spreading misinformation. And so they're taking it down. They don't know if I was doing it on purpose. So they're not going to, dock me. But I was like, I've got to make sure and say, because so if I get up, because it could have very well been, this happened before. And when they take one down, then they put you on restriction. And the last time I wasn't allowed to record for a week, which I was thinking I'd probably still do the recordings. I wouldn't do like hours. I would do some kind of little update things and then put them on at the end of the time. But the power can go out, or they can take my account down. So Yeah, you know, anything can happen. And so anyways, I got that dick waved in my face yesterday. And them reminding me who's in control of my account. I was like, you guys think I forgot? It's like I want to go in and start saying a bunch of shit to them, but it's like, what good does that do? And so anyways, back to like the two different forces. So we have like the light and the dark at play. The dark has a different agenda than the light. The light is about freedom and awareness and about, you know, sovereignty. It's like your life. You do what it's your life. It's your experience. It's your energy. It's your consequences. It's all you. And so I feel like there's one energy that is pushing for that. And that is what the universe is having all these different things fall apart, all these groups, everything has got to be exposed so you can see, like, where do I really stand on this? How do I really feel about this? And everything should lead everybody to a point of sovereignty, like that they're separating from anything that they felt like they were too combined with. They were codependent with some sort of aspect of self in order to be acceptable to other people. So you have to let go of those parts of yourself and, you know, get down to the nuts and bolts of it, you know. You got to let go of all of the pretty trimmings, like all these girls. They got to let go of all of this makeup. They got to just get in there and, you know, start saying, well, I've beat my hair fucking up, man. I've got to quit hiding it under wigs and fake hair and start taking care of it. Start loving it. Start, you know, caring about it. And the same with their skin. And, you know, they're just piling all these chemicals and toxins on their skin. And some of them, they look like they're much older. They've aged their skin or something, like they're, I don't know. There's a lot of things, you know, because a lot of them, then I think they have weight problems too, which then you've got a lot of things with the food. When it starts affecting your weight, you've got all sorts of things with your hormones and your not your electrolytes, your hormones and your, it's like your not epinephrine, not endorphin. I guess it could be endorphin, but your chemical balances. So your weight getting out of balance will affect your other things that, you know, affect your mood, affect your sleep, affect all the different things of your health. And, you know, they want to push people into an unhealthy state because really you should be pushed all the time into getting into a more, a different weight. Like, but that is why everything is purging out in our society with these, you know, these fucking recipes. It's like, I mean, what do you think's going to happen eating like this? I mean, it's not even, there's nothing in there that's healthy. There's nothing in there that's good for you. And eating like this is just going to put on senseless weight and make you sick. It's going to give you like diabetes, thyroid conditions, high blood pressure, joint condition, all sorts of stuff. And so, but they don't want you to know that because then they just offer little pills for everything. And so they push people. Yeah, you should eat and then with the absurdity of that, how that's blowing up, you know, where they're starting to say like, oh, well, Lucky Charms, that's really good for you. That's way better for you than eating this or eating that. So they're taking everything that was, they told us that was good for us and telling us, no, that's not good for you anymore. And over in Seattle, they made a bold move because during all of the chaos that went over there during 2020, and there was a lot that went on in Seattle, and they took over like Capitol Hill or something, and they made a big, like Seattle allowed them to build this city inside the city, and so they became like a homeless city, and Capitol Hill is like a really fancy part too, and then before, when I went there before, and I don't know what it's like now, but Capitol Hill was like the big fancy like gay area. And so as I was saying, like some of this stuff with the activists and the LGBTQ, like where there were some of these people that were on the same, they were in this group and this group and this group, and then all of a sudden the groups are starting to sever, they fall apart. And so you have to pick like which group you stand with, and then that one will fall apart too. They're all gonna fall apart. So the the activist group that was up there, I think at some point that they got moved out or something, but they kept the garden and they kept fighting to keep this garden. And then there was still a lot of homeless people up there apparently, but they were using this garden. Like people could go in and have free food, people could go in and find resources. It was like a community kind of garden. And it was like a become like a community kind of hub, kind of like what I've been talking about, that will happen in different communities, that there will become like a communal hub area of like food and resources. And so it was kind of like, I gotta keep moving around. It's kind of like that was going on up there. And so yesterday morning, I guess the police, because I guess it's been a battle where they said that just some, homeless people and some activists have been fighting off this government overstep this whole time. But then the government just went in yesterday and just tore it all down. Just tore it all down. Just tore down all that food because they don't care. And then the person who was doing this one video that was going through this really long explanation, and they were saying that all the rich people up there don't want that down there. So then it becomes that class division, which, I don't know, there definitely is people in the class division who are like that. Like you see poor people who are like that. You see, like, there's people who sell everything and go buy mobile homes, go buy dumpy old mobile homes, just like what I was going to do. Except I got a little cabin, but go buy a dumpy little mobile home. And I thought my property was more property. I didn't know it was like just a little lot in a neighborhood. I thought we were more separated when I was looking at the pictures. I just thought, because when you get in Maple Falls, the little town, they are more separated. So I thought it'd be like that, but no. And then even in the new development part, they've even put them closer together. It's like so wacky. So, because that's all they want to do is make our lives smaller and smaller and smaller. I saw a girl that was talking about the hair salon thing. I was like, oh my God, it is fucking endless with these corporations. She was explaining what they have done to the hair industry. And let me think, did I finish saying about the other one before I go off on this one? So, because they tore down the garden and there is a class division, but there's more, there's just so much more going on. Everything that is being purged up is so that each individual can go in and see where they weigh in on stuff. It's not supposed to be like a group thing. It's supposed to be an individual thing. And so, this girl who was talking about the hair thing, she was saying, and we had a hair place, and so I knew what she was talking about, because we had a place that you just rented out a station, and then they did their own thing. We didn't take a part of their money. They just rented out the station. And so but then it was being really hard to fill them, and it became this big thing on these suites. So these suites started getting rented out. And so I've seen these different hair salon owners talking about this, what it's done to the industry. And so they had all these girls that were getting out of hair schools and stuff like that. And it was something going on about the way that things were being priced. And then they had to change things up or something. So then these corporations bought up all these buildings and put in all these suites. So they're little cubicles. So they put in all these little cubicles, and mostly they don't have windows or anything. And then they charge them like $125 a week. And so then the people will be like, well, I want that, because then it's like I have my own business. I don't have to answer to anybody, and I can decorate it the way I want. So tons of people went and got those, and which was destroying the hair salons, because then there's nobody, you can't get to work in any hair salons. And there's a whole thing about the money and the way that that's going now. It's getting all jacked up, because it used to just be like, when I got out of hair school way back in the 80s, you just went to work at a, I don't know, like, it's weird too, because I know the person who owns one of these Great Cuts or something. They owned the first ones. I think it is my niece's husband's family. I don't remember. Sometimes you just meet these people and it's like, oh, that's so. But the Great Coast people from that started it, and so that you would go and work at those places, and you would get like, they would get 40% or 50%, sometimes 60% of everything you did. So whatever you would go and do, whatever your work, you only got a small amount of it, but it was supposed to be like it was your training or something. And but there wasn't really any training going on, because what you would really want to do ideally is get into a place where you could be trained, but then it's like an apprenticeship. Sometimes you know, a lot of those girls, they just were shampoo girls. They just work for somebody and do shampoos for years until you get an opportunity. Like if you go to fancy salons, you see those people all the time who are just apprenticing under these fancy things, but or these fancy hairstylists and stuff. But then it's also the same thing as like the plastic surgeon's office, you know. It's like, are they really moving you forward? Are they really helping you? Are they just maintaining with their image, maintaining their self? And so I think that there's some of that just maintenance of oneself and not giving a fuck about anybody else. And so, anyways, I worked at like a Great Clips place or something. I worked at a few different ones. Everything was like it was a mess. But anyway, so now it's gotten way worse. So they've got all these people now. They got all these people who went and got places at the little booth places, and all these salons that started having to close down because there was nobody to work in them and they couldn't pay their rents and stuff. So I guess this is what they've been doing to drive all the small businesses down. And then now that they've got all these people dependent on the suites, now they've jacked the price up. It's like $600 a week or something. So they've just skyrocketed where the people can't afford it. And it's just a big mess. And so these ladies are like, when you keep asking why hair stuff keeps going so expensive, it's because I think the products, everything, because it's all corporate owned, and they all push for certain things, but they are so they're so long game in mind. Like that when they have, because all the way back, I'm telling you, when people had little businesses and then corporations were coming in and buying them up, and people thought they hit the jackpot, and that was like, you know, godsend if a corporation came in and bought your little business, and everybody was like, oh, that's what everybody wanted. And then look at what happened. They got complete control. They got complete control of everything. But it's like the people wanted it. People asked for it. And so now they have to see the other side of the coin from it. Like when you get all this control and they can have control and jack up the prices and stuff. They've done it in the housing market. They're doing it on the medicine. They do it with the medications. Get all these people on these medications and jack up the price to keep the medications that are good for people. You know, they will make those outlawed. And I swear, the other day I got in this argument with this girl, and it seemed wacky to me, because she was so mad at people for not wearing these. Now, like right now, this is all started again. These arguments are going back and forth. She's so disgusted by people who won't put these on. And so I went in and said, you know, something, because it's like, are these people don't get it. They don't understand that. It's not what they're for, and they are interfering. I gotta really watch out, because you know, they're obviously going in and watching my videos. And so, and we're not allowed to have an opinion. That, and now even the phone company, T-Mobile, if you say anything, that they can come in and fine you. I mean, pretty soon we're going to be arrested for having thinking for ourselves. Like, oh, you thought for yourself? Oh, it's a crime. It's against the law. No, I'm allowed to do that. What kind of dystopia movie? I'm sure that there's been a movie in the past. I keep on seeing one in my head where everybody is just wearing the same clothes and they all have on white shirts. It seems like Ethan Hawke or something's in it. And maybe Uma Thurman or something. But they all are wearing just like pants and a white shirt. Nobody talks. I don't think anybody's allowed to think. And then if you do, you have to, like, if you take a risk and talk to somebody and tell them something that you thought, they can have you arrested. It's like the pod people is all like, oh, that one over there, that one over there, he's thinking for himself, arrest him. It's like, that's where, that's where we're headed. That's what we're, the direction that they're taking us, the dark ones, are definitely taking us to a place of, you know, you can't think for yourself, you can't talk, you can't do anything. You are just are a dutiful citizen, whatever that means. Like, you eat your neighbor when it's necessary. Like this, when I was making Stella's chicken yesterday, I was like, there is no fucking way. I don't know what the fuck this is. It's like, are they just getting, like, taking little, like, birds out of the sky and just feeding them to people and something, like, rats? Like, what the fuck? And I saw this video. I've seen so many gross videos of food things like recently. Like, somebody actually went to, like, there's a lot of chicken McNuggets, gross things going around right now. But a lot of gross things. Like, people bite into the chicken McNugget and it's sickening. One thing, it was actual a piece of wood, an actual block of wood. It even had the paint on the end. It's like they put batter on it and just cook it up. Just, somebody eats it, somebody eats it. Maybe it gets soft when you fucking fry it. Apparently it doesn't. And so just tons and tons of these videos of these people with the food disasters and, you know, what are they feeding us and gross out stuff. So many people even opening boxes of food. Like, I just saw one person, it was, they were opening macaroni and cheese. It was from Walmart. And so they poured it into a bowl. It had all sorts of little roaches in it. How many people just go and pour that food into stuff and start cooking it and don't realize, like, there's all sorts of little bugs and stuff. I saw somebody doing a video saying how disgusted they are now to know that that the FDA or whatever has an allowance for how much human meat can be in something, like, or in human shit and all that. They don't give a fuck. But then you got to get in your mind, it's like, okay, well, it's not real though. It's not real. Everything is like, it seems like it's real, but it's not really real. And that is I think the Z's hidden secret, you know, the hidden truth, or the knowers, the secret keepers. And I think that, I don't know, there's people of the light who, I don't know if they had some association with the dark and turned to the light or something, but I think that there's people who know the truth. And I think that that is one thing why there keeps being like these CIA documents and stuff being released to say this stuff. And is that about the pole shift and everything. But I think that the pole shift, though, is that the good guys are going to start moving us into different places. Like, right now, I was seeing this footage. People keep sharing this footage and sharing this footage. There's, like, I don't know, a huge, huge caravan, which then, you know, you don't even know if this is made up footage too. But when you think about if they're evacuating places, this definitely looks like an evacuation. It definitely looks like they are moving huge amounts of people into places, which to me, America is one place where there's going to be a big land mass. So I think that they are low-key evacuating and moving people right now into secure places. And I know people get all upset and all offended and stuff like that. And one of the videos, you know, somebody was like, so how do you like that? All these people, they're about to be on our doorsteps. And I was like, okay, well, you know, I could let some people pop up a tent out in my yard and stuff. Like, I don't know. I think that we need to come together as community. I mean, I think that should show people right there with your biases and see. And like I've said, like, the government does not have any right to tell us where we're citizen, where we can move, where we can walk, where we can talk, where we can, none of that stuff. And so, you know, this part of this pushing in, it's like the universe is pushing in on freedom, bringing all these people, which is bringing all this anger and all the biases, I think, bringing all these biases up in people so that they have to see them for themselves, so that they can see their own attitude, because it's their attitude is part of the problem, is everyone's attitude, even though it's been created by these powers that be, it is each person's individual biases. Because, like, I mean, these are probably the same people who sit there and say that they're not racist, but then they're getting so mad that these people from other countries are coming in here. And you know, there is some crime and stuff. There is going to be chaos. There definitely is going to be. And there's people here who are here to create chaos. We got people who are planted as instigators to create chaos, to kill and everything. But I don't think out of like when they're bringing this many people over that all these people are coming for crimes. There's something, who knows what's being said in some of these places and why they're leaving in such huge crowds. And there's a lot of things going on. Like I've seen, like in Peru or something. Is it Peru? Where they've got these beings, the ant people or whatever, that are coming up and attacking their people and eating people. You've got, they've got all sorts of ships and stuff being seen. There's a lot of stuff going on, and just like in America where they keep showing, people going out and getting all this footage of stuff in the sky and stuff, which there's a lot of people saying that they're about to hit us up with this big fake alien invasion. But that is what will bring us all together is, they'll try and hit us and attack us with something, but it's what's going to bring us all together. Because then, however it goes, if that's what goes down, that's what will happen. It was what will all come together. It will backfire. Everything they do is going to keep backfiring. Nothing they do is going to work because their time is up. The energy is shifting, going a different direction. We wouldn't be seeing all this stuff be exposed. We wouldn't be noticing this stuff without the shift. We are shifting because we are shifting as individuals. We're noticing things different. We're seeing things different. We're thinking things different. We're looking at things through different lenses. So we are advancing. We are evolving. We are, changing. We're transforming. And so that is a part of this whole thing, is us in the transformation. But that us in the transformation brings you into a space of understanding that nothing can happen to you. So for those people who can get to that deeper understanding that you are an energetic being and nothing can happen to you, they'll go through the reset because nothing will happen to them. And they know that. But see, you got to get that into your mind. And so, because even through all this, even with all the sickness and stuff, it's just like, there's so many times I'm just like, oh my God, what in the ego fucking goddamn soul am I? Like, to think I can go through all this stuff, like, what in the hell? It's like a fucking never ending, and you feel like you're at the end of your rope. You feel like you just can't even handle another fucking minute of it. And it just goes and goes and goes. It's like, what in the holy hell? And the redundancy of every day, it's becoming so routine. I'm not very routine, I don't think. I don't like it. I don't like to just get up and do the same exact thing every motherfucking day. Get up, open the curtains at the same time, close the curtains at the same time, turn on fucking music, get up, walk around, go brush my hair, go, like, it's like, oh my God, what, this is no way to live. And is this because the universe is pushing me to go out of my comfort zone, to just go out there into the middle of the storm and, make it? I don't know. Like, to me, I feel like things will open up. Doors will open. Something will happen. Something will show me what direction to go. I don't have to sit there and keep forcing it. But it is like, oh my God, is there anything that's going to open soon? Maybe a fucking sinkhole or something? Come on. Like, God damn. Something's got to give. And so, I don't know. I don't know if all of a sudden everything started, like, it seemed like it was starting to go good, and then it's just like pulled back. No. It's going to go back to stubbornness of the energy. But maybe it is, this energy is just, it's moving faster and faster and faster like this. And then it's going, and everybody's moving it, because everybody's experiences is what's moving it. And then it's going to just flip. And it's going to, but maybe it's this speeding up is what flips it. But the energy is going to flip. We're going to turn and go the other direction. And that's what I think so many people don't understand. But that doesn't mean we're going to not have a reset. A reset is a cosmic event. It is how we change. We change. Our attitude, our understanding of ourselves is what changes. So we don't run around like little scared ants, being scared. That we know our own power. That we're stepping into this God and Goddess perspective of self where you can't be hurt, even though it's fucking uncomfortable as shit. God damn. I swear to God, I don't understand what is going on. It's like, I mean, it's one thing when you got like a old lady butt or something, you know, and you sit down on your bony butt, but for it to just hurt so bad, it's like I don't know. And to me, everything is so uncomfortable right now. This whole fucking world, it just feels so uncomfortable. And it's like, fuck, this is so hard to even want to keep going, man. It's like, you just want to let go and just, fuck, like, look. But then there's, you know, you can't get out of the game unless it's your time to get out of the game. You can't just be like, okay, well, I'm leaving now. You have to go and finish your part, the part that you came in to play. You have to finish it. So you can't just leave because things are hard. Things that are hard are always leading up to whatever, you know, it's giving you tools in your toolbox. It's helping you build up for wherever it is you're going. And that's why when you're manifesting, when you're walking towards your ideal, because a lot of times it takes a special effort to go towards where you're manifesting your life. You're going towards the positive, because most people are just like trying to bounce off, like trying to shield themselves in life. Like they're just reacting all the time to life. Life's just happening to them, and they're just trying to, you know, put up a shield so as to not get hurt by whatever's going on. And so they aren't moving in their own energy in their own direction. They aren't directing their energy and moving it towards how they want it to be. They are just a product of their environment where they feel like they don't have any control. But once you realize that you do have control by your attitude, by how you look at things and how you see things, and things will start opening up where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to be doing. It will start to open itself and make itself available. But it's like you got to go through the lessons to get yourself there. So when you are putting yourself towards your direction, whatever it is, like, you know, you want to, you know, be the mayor of a new community. You have great ideas of how a community can run and how productive it can be. And so you know that that's what you're here for. You just feel it in your bones. You just can't quit thinking about it. You can see things, you can understand things. You're always got things going in your mind, you know, because that's what you're here to do. And so, and it can make you feel like, you know, you need to hurry, you need to go do this and go do that, but you got to like sit back and allow the doors to open for you, which can be very frustrating. And sometimes doors open that you think, you know, it's going to be a different door, and a different door opens. And those doors are there to prepare you, to get you ready for where you're going. It's not to block you. It's all to help you. It's like the hands you shake along the way that get you to the place that you're going. And so it's all a necessary part of the journey. But that is where it becomes more self-directed, when you're going towards and you're realizing like, oh, these people, like, you know, somewhere along the path, this is leading me to where I want to go. I stay focused on where I want to go. You're manifesting where it is you're headed. So you focus on where you're going. You focus on the experience at hand of what the things that are coming. And I mean, to all different levels, you can try and understand the things that you're learning and how beneficial that they'll be and stuff. But to understand that that's how the universe is working, putting you towards it. It's not like because you feel it or think it, all of a sudden it's just bam and it's there. That's a completely different set of lessons. Mostly you are working towards becoming what it is that you want to be. So you are directing the energy, you are manifesting yourself, you are moving towards your own desires, your own, you know, the benefit of what it is that you desire, what it is that you want out of life. And so you are directing that energy, which is completely different than just sitting back and letting life happen to you. And every experience is some sort of drama or miracle. And because there's a lot of that going on too. You know, there's a lot of different situations happening that are either dramas or people look at them as miracles. Because there's a lot of miracles going on. I saw this one. This was kind of trippy. 'cause I've never seen this guy before. And he was just saying that he wanted to tell his twin flame thing that was going on. And so he said, and he didn't have a lot of people. I mean, I don't know how old his video was. But anyways, I was listening to him, and he was saying that he had just got fired from his job. When he got fired from his job, he found out that the person who he was working with was his twin's brother, that he didn't even know was his twin's brother. And his twin used to work at the same job and had the same job and got fired from there. And so then this guy goes and works there, and then he gets fired from there, and he's working with the guy's brother. So then he's all sad and all depressed, and he goes home, and he is just like sitting there like, oh, I don't even know what to do. And he's looking through the paper, he sees this thing about a yoga class, and he's like, well, I think I'm gonna go to this yoga class. I'm just gonna go to this yoga class. I don't know why, I'm just gonna go. And it's in the morning, so he called to reserve his space, and it was for hot yoga. So he goes in and he does his class, and then the teacher at the end, he's talking to him, this girl who's at the end, just talking to him, and they're talking about something, and then starts talking about where he's from or something, and starts saying that she knows somebody from there who happens to be this guy's twin. And so it's like, oh, your orbit is getting closer and closer and tighter. Pretty soon you're gonna be standing there face to face. And I don't know, it's weird. I don't know, this soul connection thing is just, it's weird. It's like you don't know what the other person, if they understand. You don't understand like why you can see it. It's like, and then you don't have anybody to really talk about it with, so I can completely see. Because then there's a lot of people that just don't even get, like when you're talking about these synchronicities and these weird things. It's like, it's weird. It's weird when you have this stuff happen. Like, and yesterday it was like, 117, there's 111, 117 all day long, 117, 117, 117. And and it's like, I wonder if they see 718 all the time. I wonder if they always see 718 and they don't know why. I don't know. I have no idea. You don't know what somebody else's synchronicities are or anything, but anyways, it's weird. And so I've heard so many different people telling these stories of these synchronistic events and stuff, but people just don't realize, like, this is all set up. Everything is set up. Everyone you're going to meet, everything is destined. And it really gets me is where I hear so many of these spiritual people talking about timelines and about manifesting, about control. And it's like everything I hear them saying, it's like, this is not how I understand things at all. Like I understand life as being destined. Life is, it's a set ride. You get on it, it's a set ride. You're going to meet the same people that you're supposed to meet. There's nothing that is by chance or by accident. It's all set. It's all destiny. And to me, it's like a replay. But all these people who think like that you can just change it, you can just jump timelines, you can go to your happy place and stuff like that. It's like, well, if you're supposed to just jump to your happy place, then what are you supposed to be? What is life about? Because aren't you supposed to be learning and stuff? So is it supposed to just be like you're leapfrogging through life, like just jumping from good thing to good thing? Like you're scared to face any bad things, because facing the bad things is where you find the growth. Jumping from good thing to good thing, that can just feed this ego. That's where you get these people who are out of touch, who don't even understand things. The more compassion that you have, it usually comes from that you've been through things. So then you understand what somebody is feeling pain and somebody is having a hard time. You have compassion and empathy for them. And so you don't feel like, that it's their fault or whatever. And then, but you notice that the people who are so judgmental of one another, it's like that. It's like because they don't have any experience. They just have biases. They just are in a place of judgment. But that is why I think so much of this stuff is going on. It's just so weird when I hear how some of these people look at life and spirituality. It just sounds so opposite of what I think. Like, as you are here to learn and grow, like what makes sense? What makes sense? Why would you be, how would the universe work if we were all just living beings who were just leapfrogging from one good thing to the next good thing? How would the energy work? How would the universe be able to work. There is like there's a system to create movement. A movement has an energy. And so there's an energy behind everything that we are doing. There's a movement. There's a path. It isn't just like everything is just popping off like fucking popcorn and everybody's just scrambling trying to look for a place to feel good. It's like, that's not how the universe works. I mean, there's beings that definitely don't come in to go into reincarnate and stuff, but some of those beings are probably like the face that's watching us up in the sky. Some of these beings are like the watchers, and we're like in a fucking snow globe. And that's what's so creepy too, is that face. It just looks like a face peering down into a snow globe. I just can't believe the new footage too, where it looks like from this eye, from this angle, it looks like you see this eye get really dark, and then it kind of gets light and then it gets dark, like, you know, like if you were looking at someone's eye moving around or something. I don't know. It still seems like it has got to be some kind of a hologram. But I don't know. An energy can represent itself. Like all this weird stuff, it could be a part of, I don't know. Everything is going to be shown. Like yesterday, there was so much noise here. I couldn't believe how many. And then all these dogs kept barking. There kept being like planes that would go over that would take so long and so loud. And it would sound like their engines were giving out. And I would be like, oh my God, those planes are going to start crashing any minute. They're going to start crashing through the neighborhood. And then a helicopter comes in. It's like everything is, I don't know, like we're living in this weird giant simulation anyways. And it's so controlled. But I do think that the people who are on our side, because I definitely think that there is, you know, two sides, and that there is people who are fighting the dark at all different levels. And so those people, I think that they understand, you know, what's happening on the earth and what's happening with the reset. And that is what they're going to start moving people into safer places. And that to me shows that they care about all the people of all the colors, of all the nationalities, because they're bringing all of these people to a safer land mass than where they're coming from. I bet. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what storms. 2024 is supposed to be just a real horrendous time with the storms and stuff. Like things are going to be picking up, but we are creating the storms. Remember that. It is when the storms are picking up, it is the awakening is picking up. There is a reflection of the energy. So the more storms that come, the more that it's churning, taking us in the other direction. So even though it seems scary and stuff, you got to keep remembering that nothing can really hurt you. Even if an avalanche comes down, you know, you just walk right out of it. You won't be in the game anymore. You go to a different game. You go to a different place, a different reality, but you walk right out of that one. There's nothing holding you. You're not stuck. And it's kind of weird too, like how these people do these bindings on souls. But I don't think that you can be bound unless that you allow it. But they're doing bindings and putting, you know, consciousness into black box, putting them into robots, putting them in all sorts of things, I think. So, but I think it is a consciousness that maybe hasn't developed sovereignty. Like maybe we have a bunch of consciousnesses that are here that have never ascended before. Maybe that's why there's so much ignorance through this, because if you have ascended before, maybe there's something that's familiar to you. Because ascending, I think, is just the remembering of dying and advancing. Like you're advancing, you're ascending, you're learning, you're growing. And so you're evolving. So I think that is what the ascension is. But this is like, instead of doing it in death, we're doing it in life. So it's like different. So we're ascending while we're alive. So we're staying who we are. We're moving this character forward, even in the reset, because then it's going to change. It's going to change dramatically. We're going to change. The set's going to change. The scenes are going to change. How we interact is going to change. Like the money, the jobs, everything is going to be changing. It's going to be going in a lot of different directions, and it will go in different directions in different places too. Just like as how we've had all these different realities of different, like different countries and different places you go, completely different. Like you could have different experiences depending on where you go to. It's going to be, I think, a lot more like that. A lot more very individual communities and places building. It's not going to be as structured as it was. And plus our land masses and our temperatures and stuff are going to change. Like I've heard for a long time, it's going to go where it's going to be, everything is going to be like tropical. And when they show that before, on these old maps of the Antarctic and stuff, before it wasn't ice, it was tropical, and it was camels and all those different animals over there on it. So I think it's going to go back like that, where it's going to go back to where, we've gone through enough with the cold weather. Now we're going to get to experience warm weather and just becoming more like in the CIA thing, it says we're going to go back to becoming primitive beings again or something like that. It's not like that, because we're going to go into a way more highly sophisticated technology. Like the technology is going to go way advanced really quick. And so we're not going to go backwards to where, oh, how do you make fire again? We're going to have to live in caves. No, it's going to be like a big quantum leap ahead, but it's like everything is going to come off of us. So when we go, it's like everything that was a part of this old world has to shed, so that when we go into the new one, it's like a new experience, and it's a new situation. It's like the guy on Scrooge, like getting up on Christmas morning. It was a completely different person when he got up and was ready to make redemption. So but that is where we just have to see that that let me think, what is it we have to see? People, all the people, and all the people and what they have to go through to get where it is that they're trying to go. But it's so individual. It's so individual, and all you can do is share like your ideas, your techniques, but each person has to find their own. And nobody's going to hold all your answers. People will hold it's like people will hold a stone for you, will hold a match for you, will it can be holding a piece of what you need, but nobody has all your information. Part of getting all your information is the journey. It is going out and not playing it safe. It is going and talking and learning from all different people. And so that helps you find your own self, so that you can figure out how to save yourself. Because not each person it's an individual thing, and it's like an individual speaking. Like somebody has to be speaking on your language for you to understand what they're talking about. And so, and it's all on vibration. So anyways, it's part of the journey. You don't just go and find one person and got all your answers and everything is solved. It's like, because the journey doesn't end until the journey is over, till you're walking out of this game. You're still in it. So you still are going to be healing. Like there's a lot of people that get really disappointed when they think they've done all their healing and then something else happens, a test or something. But that's how it works. It's just building you up for your next lessons. Your lessons are a lot bigger, and they're not as dramatic as what people keep feeling like they have to completely change themselves or something. I don't look at it that way. I look at it as just like epiphanies of like advanced ways to look at things, other ways to see things, which takes away judgment from, other people and stuff. I don't know. So let me think, because it seemed like there was something else I was going to say. I feel like I'm just all over the place. I don't even know if I ever finished a sentence, I swear to God. But so, because all these people who are crowding into our thing, I think it is way more of us as a people that we need to look at, like, how do we get along? How do we get along with any of our neighbors? Like, how do we get along? And with more people coming in and thinking about what more of these people also have to offer. Some of these people have a lot of good things to offer, that they have a lot of skills. They know, like, because there's a lot of Americans and stuff that don't know how to do shit. They don't know how to build anything. They don't know how to make anything. They don't know how to take care of themselves. They don't know how to grow food. They don't know how to cook. They don't know how to sew. They don't know how to do anything. And so a lot of these people know how to do a lot of stuff and can teach things. You know, a lot of things are from necessity. See, that's the cushy part of American life and a lot of other countries too, is that you can just find someone else to do it for you. You don't advance your skills because you just go find somebody else. But like plumbing, like for plumbers, their amount that they're getting paid just keeps going up and up and up. And there's less people going into it. So, there's way more people going to college. They don't want to be a plumber, but the plumbers are the ones that are making all the money. And they become more of more in demand because there's less and less of them. And that's why I said about all these different skills. There's all sorts of skills that people can go and learn how to do. And you'll find that there's a demand. Like I've said, I think the people who are making clothes, the people who upcycle clothes, the people who are just going and making clothes, like this one guy who makes them out of blankets, out of sleeping bags. He makes fucking clothes out of all sorts of stuff. And I think people like that are going to really start going far because, where are you going to go to get your clothes made if you don't have, some, what are these clothes? Fast fashion. It's slave made clothes. So what are you going to do when there's no slaves making your clothes? You're going to have to pay to have somebody make them. And so you're going to have to go and hire somebody. So people who are good at doing that, they're going to go way up. Think about even back in the like cowboys days and stuff like that. When you think about like the women, they would go down the store, like the new fabrics would come in. They go down the store, they could find a dressmaker, they pick out their fabrics, the dressmaker, then they do it all by their measurements. They do it by how they wanted their dress to fit, so it fit a lot more for your body. So like nowadays, people are constantly trying to put on clothes that fit other people's bodies and trying to, get mad at themselves because their body doesn't conform and fit into these clothes right. And that's because they're always selling a style. They're always just selling a look. And that's why you got to get out of the following the trends, following the looks and trying to stay up with it. Like this anime girls have turned these girls into, I think, trapped and insecure. I think that they're scared to show their own faces. Even when they're showing the transformations, they're picking another face that is filtered to look worse, so that they they just don't like themselves. And I just see it as such a trap too. Like, fuck. Like, how could you even take a shower with your boyfriend? How could you go to the lake with all your friends? How could you, oh my God, what a trap. And then plus the same with these women who are using all these filters to go. I just think how horrible. You use a filter, when you're going and you run into some people out at the store and they're like, oh, I watch you. It's like, man, you hear them turn as they look. Man, she looks way different in person, doesn't she? She looks way worse. I was like, I'd rather them say, oh, she looks better in person. Way worse. So I'm going to set myself up. Be like, oh, I'm just looking beautiful on here. Always on my bold glamour filter. Just don't catch me outside. And then you won't recognize me. It's like, man, I don't know. I just think women have got to start believing in themselves more and appreciating themselves. And if there's things you don't like about your face, then you just have to, work on your health or work on, or just working on loving yourselves. I just feel like a lot of these women, it's like they've damaged their health, they've damaged their hair, their weight is not where they want it to be, so they just don't feel good about themselves, they don't feel attractive, and then they can go and put on this artificial stuff that takes away that pain, when the pain is supposed to be driving you to work towards being healthy, work towards what it is you want to look like, work towards taking care of this avatar, not jumping off of this one and going into the next one. This is the one that you're trying to elevate. This is the one you're trying to keep alive. This is the one you're ascending with. So you might want to take care of it. So anyways, but I don't know. Some of these people, if they've just deteriorated their health so much, like, I don't know. But then there's also, if you really are kind in your heart and stuff, then you have the quantum healing bed things, because that will be able to heal people and, get their hair back to being like, get them back to an optimum. But it's not going to take people who are not taking care of themselves and then just go in and do it for them. I know there has to be a shift in the people, a shift in the people's minds, a shift in how they take care of themselves. But right now, you're just trying to shift people to even like themselves, to quit hiding from themselves. And I really, really have noticed that it is like the person who you thought didn't like, the person who you thought was so hideous and heinous all your life, that you thought was being judged and horrible and all of those things, that you were trying to change yourself to become more acceptable, more adaptable, more likable, that all of a sudden you realize that all of that person that we're trying to create was a phony, a fake. It wasn't real. You didn't feel satisfied. You felt dissatisfied. You were hiding yourself. And so then once you have to realize that, and you start taking that all apart, like, why was I doing that? Why did I do that? Why did I think I wanted them friends? Why did I, and you start going through that. Then you get to the point where you've taken it all off. You've released it all. And then you find that original person standing there that you were so ashamed of. And you're like, oh my gosh, I really like you. You're really cool. What was I trying to hide from? So it is this reunion to self. It's the person who you hated, the person who you were trying to discard through life. All of a sudden, you're standing there face to face and you're ready to embrace them. So it's a beautiful journey. It really is a beautiful journey to oneself. But it's an independent journey. Like, nobody can just tell you how to do it. Like, I've really noticed that by talking to this girl who's struggling so much now, and trying to tell her how to find herself and how to release herself out of this prison. But, it takes, I think, sometimes talking to all different people. So you find somebody who's on your wavelength, where it's like they say something, it's like, oh, I get it. And it just works. And then there can be another thing, and your vibration is going all over the place. You're meeting, like, we aren't just all one set thing. And and when you come across somebody, when you're on the same vibe, man, things just, things just make sense. You just get it. You get each other. You understand each other. It's not a challenge. And so anyways, let me think if there was something else. So I totally feel like I was all over the place, but hopefully I said something that was worthwhile, because it was like, man, especially yesterday when I got that message from him, because when I go in, and I'll get all excited, like, oh my gosh, there's people like commenting, and there's views, and you start wondering when there's a bunch of views going on a video. You start wondering, like, I wonder what they think. I wonder if they think like you're so strange. I wonder if it's helping. I wonder, you start wondering about it, and it starts having a momentum, and you start getting excited about it, and you start feeling like you're doing something good in the world, and helping people find their self-esteem, to find the love affair for themselves. And so you get all excited, and then you start seeing your numbers are going backwards. They're taking numbers away. And then they start sending you emails. Like, oh my God. I don't know. You just got to go with the flow. Go with the shifts. I mean, I was down yesterday after. It was like, oh my God. I was so excited. I was really hoping I was getting these things out next week. I thought, that's got to be the movement we're going. I still don't know. I mean, anything can happen. I mean, seriously, anything can happen at any time. So it's like, to me, it just keeps letting go. You just got to let go of stuff. You can't just hold on to it. Well, it's got to go this way. It's got to go that way. I'll make it happen. No, you just got to let go and let the universe open the doors. Let the universe do its work, what it's here to do. Quit trying to do the work for it. Quit trying to help it along. It's a challenge. It's a challenge, like, to be able to just relax into life and to just allow life to happen, to have respect for everything that is happening to you and the people that you run across and meet, to know the value that they have, that they are forming who you are. So anyways, as long as the powers that be say it's okay, I'll be back tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. And even, you know, with all the challenges, I'm going to have to go in and I'll probably order another one of these things. It's like, oh my God, you can't even find good ones. I may as well just get another cheap ass one. They're all, it's like $20 or $30. Some of them I think are 40 or 50, but it's the exact same thing. All of them are the same. They're just so cheap. And anyways, I don't know. I've probably been doing a lot of bitching, a lot of ranting. So anyways, have a good day. And you know, the powers that be, I will be back tomorrow. But yesterday it clicked off all of a sudden. Like I'm sitting here talking, it just clicked off. And it was so crazy too, because I had already, when you start really realizing how much your guys are always talking to you, because they had already warned me. They already had told me that my storage was full. And so I thought, oh, it's going to click off. And then it clicked off. And so I had to go in and empty out my storage. But it was like I was warned. When you start paying attention, I've talked about this for a while, you'll start seeing that they're constantly telling you things ahead. Constantly. There's so many things that you are distracted or not paying attention to that you could catch, that they are giving you direction. But so many things that we just don't pay attention. So start paying attention. That's what I'm talking about, is start paying attention to everything, asking questions, trying to understand things. And I'm telling you, it changes the game. So anyways, I'm going to get back to business over in here. And I don't know, I guess give her some more. She's really just licking her paws. Like, I know they're aching, but mine are aching so much. My hands and stuff are just so achy. There's just a part of me that just wants out of here so bad. I just feel like, oh God, I want all the poison out of me. I want out of all the, just sick of feeling sick. So anyways, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye.